gospel, Jesus encountered this man that had been born blind from birth. And many questions were asked as to who sinned, him or his parents. And so they began, after the man's sight was restored, they engaged in an interrogation, first of his parents. And finally, his parents said to those who were doing the interrogating, look, he's old enough, call him and ask him. So they began to ask him a lot of questions, and he couldn't really answer the questions the way that they wanted. And finally, he said, look, I don't know nothing about ophthalmology and science and all of this stuff. I can't answer your questions, he said, but here's one thing I know. Whereas I was blind, now I see. What I say to this gathering on this morning, there ought to be one thing in our life we know for sure. We may have been spiritually blind. We may have been lost spiritually. We may have overcome many struggles and trials in our life. But one thing we ought to know for sure, whereas we used to be, because of the power of God, we're no longer. God is good, and he's good not just some of the time, but God has shown up a mighty good God all the time. We're just thankful for this blessed privilege of being able to be called his children. We can get some assistance over to my right. So good always to be in the house of God with the people of God as we attempt to try to do the will of God in this place. And private chambers of your heart, let's go, let's be in prayer for Sister Lois Coleman. Amen. Amen. To all of our guests and friends this morning, a great delight to have you here with us. As always, we know that you have been made to feel at home as you enter into our facility, and we trust that you have enjoyed the services thus far. And we will recognize you at the close of this assembly, but we just say to you at this point, welcome to the Boulevard. From the text that was read into your hearing, Isaiah 41, there's one verse this morning. Of course, you know by now they don't mean that. Isaiah 41, verse 10. We'll take a few thoughts from this text this morning. Fear thou not, for I am with thee. Be not dismayed, for I am thy God. I will strengthen thee, yea, I will help thee, yea, I will uphold thee with the right hand of my righteousness. Many of the Boulevard family kind of going through our season. So I just thought this morning, every now and then we need a word of encouragement. So I thought this morning would be one of those times. And so for a few minutes this morning, when you hold on to his right hand, when you hold on to his right hand, you hold the right hand. The prophet Isaiah, the son of Amos, is recorded as the penman of this book. He was called to this prophetic ministry during the year that King Uzziah died, and he prophesied during the reigns of Uzziah, Jotham, Ahaz, and Hezekiah, kings of Judah. The book is arranged in 6 general divisions. Chapters 1 through 12 gives the prophecies concerning Judah and Jerusalem. Chapters 12 through 23 gives the oracles of judgment and salvation. Chapters 24 through 27 addresses Yahweh's world judgment in the redemption of Israel. Chapters 28 through 35 talks to warnings against alliances with Egypt. Chapters 36 through 39 gives history and prophecy. In chapters 40 through 66, that is inclusive of our text for today, deals with prophecies of comfort and salvation. And what the prophet would have us to know, that when in our lives we encounter distress and despair, when we are captured by calamity and chaos, when we are plagued with problems and pain, we sometimes find ourselves struggling, trying to hold on to hope. If we can just hold on to his right hand, you hold the right hand. Several things I believe he shows us from this text that I want to try to, as quickly as possible, show you this morning. He shows us, first of all, his protection. Fear not, for I am with you. Then he shows us his person, for I am thy God. Then he shows us his promise. I will help thee. And then finally, as we try to conclude, he shows us his power. I will uphold thee with my right hand. Israel is now in Babylonian captivity, and in this chapter, Isaiah convicts the idol worshipers. But for Israel, he comforts them in the midst of their captivity. He silences their fears and encourages faith and gives them hope of future deliverance. In chapter 40 and verse 3, he even takes a prophetic look, if you will, to the coming of Christ. For the Bible says in verse 3 of chapter 40, the voice of him that cried in the wilderness, prepare ye the way of the Lord, make straight in the desert a highway for our God. He quotes what John would later write in John chapter 1, verse 23. So he begins in verses 1 through 9 of chapter 41 by making a case for God's argument toward the idolaters that he is the sovereign God, and calls for them to be silent and listen reverentially. He says in verse 1 of chapter 41, keep silence before me, O islands, and let the people renew their strength. Let them come near, then let them speak. Let us come near together to judgment. He says, so now that I have your attention, God says. I have a series of questions to ask you. And so he begins in verse 2 by asking several questions. Who raised up the righteous man from the east? Many scholars believe that he refers to either Cyrus. Some believes he refers to Abraham. Who raised up the righteous man from the east, called him to his foot, gave the nation before him, and made him rule over kings? Who gave them as the dust to the sword, and as driven stubble to his bow? Who pursued them and passed safely, even by the way that he had not gone with his feet? Who had wrought and done it, calling the generations from the beginning? I, the Lord, the first and with the last, I am he. I'm the Lord that did it. So just in case you didn't know, you need to know that I, the Lord, I'm God, I'm the Lord. God had chosen Israel as his own and chose his supreme sovereignty to take care of them. So he confronts the enemy so that they would know, and he comforts Israel so that they would remember that when you hold on to his right hand, you hold the right hand. And so he begins in chapter 10 by showing, first of all, his protection. He says, fear thou not, for I am with thee. Be not dismayed. Don't be afraid. Don't be bewildered is the word afraid, because I am with you. When we find ourselves encountering circumstances and conditions that are new and unfamiliar, the natural tendency is to feel uncomfortable and sometimes even scared. You feel imprisoned and inhibited. But God says, don't fear, I will protect you. Right. Isaiah 43, verse 5, fear not, for I am with thee. I will bring thy seed from the east and gather thee from the west. Isaiah 41, 13, for I, the Lord thy God, will hold thy right hand, saying unto thee, fear not, I will help thee. Psalms 27, verse 1, the Lord is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear? The Lord is the strength of my life. Of whom shall I be afraid? Romans chapter 8, verse 30, moreover, whom he did predestinate, them he also called, and whom he called, them he also justified, and whom he justified, them he also glorified. What shall we say then to these things? This is Brother Moon's verse. If God be for us, who can be against us? When we hold on to his right hand, we have his protection. Then, secondly, he shows us his person. For I am thy God. He says, I will strengthen thee. God gives Isaiah and Israel the calm assurance that even though you are exiled, I will give you strength, because I'm God. All power is given to me. I'm God. Ain't nobody else like me. I'm God. You will remember in Exodus chapter 3 when God had called Moses, he was on the backside of the mountains in the region of Midian, and he was there herding his sheep, and God called to him from the midst of a burning bush, and he called to him and said, Moses, I need you to go down to Egypt and confront Pharaoh and have him to let my people go. And Moses asked the question. He says, who am I to confront, to go up against this Pharaoh? God said, don't worry about it, because I'm going to be with you. Because Moses remembered that he had to flee from Egypt because he had taken a man's life. But see, here's one of the points. Don't ever worry about where you started. God, regardless of your background, God will turn right around and send you right back into the circumstances you came out of to save his folk. He says, don't worry about it. I'll be with you. Then Moses said, well, when I get to Egypt, when I get to the children of Israel, who am I going to tell them? Who sent me? He said, tell them I am that I am sent you. God is Elohim. He's El Shaddai. He's Jehovah Jireh, the beginning and the end, the first and the last, the same yesterday, today, and forever. When you hold on to his right hand, you not only experience his protection, but you will also encounter his person. Then, not only he shows us that we will only have his protection and we will know his person. And he shows us thirdly then, that we can rely on his promise. He says, I will help you. I will assist you, is the word help. By the force of God's promise, he shows that whatever he promised, he will perform. You can't say that about man. See, we'll promise a whole lot of stuff. But see, the question is whether or not we're going to perform what we promised. He says, I will help. That's why the only one you can count on is God. You remember, excuse me, the conversation that Peter had with Christ in Matthew 26. He had gone into the Garden of Gethsemane to go to his Father in prayer, because you have to remember that Jesus was on his way to the cross. And so when he was troubled, when he was going through situations in his life, Jesus even had a prayer closet, which says to us, we need to have a prayer closet. One of the places that he always retreated to pray was the Garden of Gethsemane. He had gone and taken 3 of his closest disciples, and he said, you wait here while I go yonder and pray. He goes and prays to his Father, if it be possible, let this cup pass. But if it's not possible for this cup to pass, let thy will be done and not my will. He comes back, finds his disciples sleep. He goes and continues to pray, and he comes back and finds them asleep again, and he says, sleep on now. It's all right. God has answered my prayer. Get up, it's time for us to go. And so, the Bible says as they began their journey, they encountered those who tried to apprehend Jesus, and Peter, always being the one outspoken in the group, and when Malchus tried to do something to Christ, he pulled out his sword and cut off his ear. And Jesus said, look, don't do that. We ain't about that. That's not who we are. Put his ear back on, and then came Judas, who betrayed him with a kiss. And in the midst of all the commotion and chaos, Jesus said that you're going to leave me because things are going to get hot. You're going to have troubles and trials. And Peter said, Lord, I'll never leave. I'll never deny you. I'll never forsake you. He made a promise that he couldn't keep. And finally, as they took Jesus, the Bible says that Peter followed him afar because he didn't want it to be known that he was associated with Jesus. And there were those in the crowd that recognized him. He sat down and started warming himself beside the fire. And several in the group didn't recognize him. Hey, don't you belong? No, I don't know. Somebody else, you look familiar. No, I don't know. I don't know Jesus. And finally, somebody else said something to him again, and Peter started cussing. Look, I told you. I don't know. And as soon as he denied it the third time, the cops started to crow. He made a promise that he couldn't keep. But when God makes a promise, rest assured whatever promise he makes, God will perform. 1 Thessalonians chapter 5, verse 24. Faithful is he that calleth you, who also will do it. Psalms 46, 1. God is our refuge and strength, a very present help in trouble. Whatever God promised, he is faithful to fulfill. But then, as we try to wrap up, after his protection, his person, and his promise, we see finally his power. He says, I will uphold you with my right hand. The word uphold essentially means to maintain, to stay, to keep. Just listen to what the Bible says about God's right hand. Exodus 15, verse 6. Thy right hand, O Lord, is become glorious in power. Thy right hand, O Lord, hath dashed in pieces the enemy. Psalms 18:35. Thou hast also given me the shield of thy salvation, and thy right hand hath holden me up, and thy gentleness hath made me great. Psalms 20, verse 6. Know now I that the Lord saveth his anointed. He will hear him from his holy heaven with the saving strength of his right hand. Psalms 48:10. According to thy name, O God, so is thy praise unto the ends of the earth. Thy right hand is full of righteousness. Psalm 63:8. My soul followeth hard after thee. Thy right hand upholdeth me. Psalm 89:13. Thou hast a mighty arm. Strong is thy hand, and high is thy right hand. Mark 14:62. And Jesus said, I am, and ye shall see the Son of Man sitting on the right hand of power and coming in the clouds of heaven. God, with his right hand, will lead us and guide us. God, with his right hand, will pick us up when we fall. With his right hand, He can prevent us from falling. With his right hand, he holds us up when we are weak and waver. With his right hand, he can heal our afflictions. When you hold on to his right hand, you hold the right hand. You remember when, I'll go ask you to remember when you were a baby, but some of y'all got to remember way back too far. But you remember when our children, those of us who have children, when our children were babies, and they were learning how to walk, and I always remember both of our children, you know, they when they start standing up, they weren't able to really stand good, and they would wobble and weave, and sometimes they fall back down, and they stand up again. And when they started to try to make their first step, they would take it cautiously because they weren't really sure about themselves, and they try to take a step and they fall. But along the way, you decided to help them out, and almost inadvertently, whenever you try to help your child walk, you will reach down with your right hand and take them by the hand. But it's amazing that how as soon as they grab the hold to your hand, the confidence that they were lacking, they were wobbling at first, but as soon as they took hold to your right hand, they were walking with confidence, because I got somebody's right hand that I know who cares about it. What God says to us today: if you're struggling trying to walk, if you're feeble, you're weaving and wobbling and bobbing, you can't stand up straight, every now and then you fall. Because he says in verse 13, I'll take my right hand and grab your right hand and I'll help you. When you hold on to his right hand, you hold it. The right hand. I'm going to have to quit right there, because I'm going to get happy with me. Somebody right there today. It might be that the reason why we struggle with holding God's right hand is because we got our hands full of the wrong stuff. God came with his right hand, hold you and guide you and lead you, if your hands are full of the things of the world. And it might be that you're struggling with whatever it is you're going through in your life, whatever it is that has hindered you, whatever it is that's calling you to be attacked by Satan. It might be that God is trying to hold your hand, but your hand's too full. Maybe what you need today is coming. Come on, ask for the prayers of the righteous to help you let go of some of the stuff that you're holding on to. See, sometimes you're trying to hold on to folk. See, you know, unless folk are connected to God, folk can't really help you the way God can help you. And folk will make promises they won't keep. So you know, it's good to hold on to folk if they have your best interest at heart, and if they are righteous, if they're striving to do what God has called them to do. But it might be you trying to hold on to some folk that don't know God. We trying to hold on to some relationships that's toxic. We try to hold on to some stuff that God says you might need to turn loose. And I I can't reach down with my right hand and help you because your hand's too full of the wrong stuff. Maybe today, in the midst of your struggles, you ought to come and ask for the prayers of the righteous to help you recognize that maybe I'm struggling and God is not able to take my hand and guide me because he's fighting with too much stuff that I'm holding on to. Right. That's where you are right there. Maybe you had this stuff that God is the right hand to hold on to. Right. You've been reaching for everything else and hadn't discovered that the right hand is God's right hand. Because when I take hold of his right hand, I discover his protection. I discover his person. I'll engage in his promises, and I'll experience his power. I want that for my life. Because Satan, the enemy, has me captive. We might not be in Babylonian captivity, but we're in spiritual captivity. What God says to us today, I'll free you. I'll take you out. But you got to take hold of my right hand. You got to come on and ask for the help. If somebody's here, you not say yes to Jesus. Spiritually, you're still captured by Satan because you're still following the things of the world, the religious teachings of the world. And what you don't realize is that because you're following the ways of man, you're following doctrines that have been implemented by man, and you're not following the doctrine of the gospel of Jesus Christ. You're still captured. You are in captivity by Satan's snares. And what Jesus invites you to do today is take hold of the right hand of the Father and let him lead you out of that captivity. How do I do that, preacher? Well, you do that by hearing about the gospel, the good news, the death, burial, and resurrection of Jesus Christ, how he died for your sins and mine, how he was buried in a borrowed tomb, and early Sunday morning he got up out of the grave with all power in his hand, and now he is back on the throne, sitting at the right hand of his Father, and constantly pleads on all of our behalf. He wants you to be saved. You do that this morning by hearing the gospel, Romans 10:17. Believing that same gospel. Hebrews chapter 11 and verse 6. Repenting, turning from your way of understanding, your way of believing, turning to God's way. Luke 13:3 and 5. Confessing Christ to be the Son of God. Matthew 10:32, 33. Acts chapter 8 verse 35. Follow. Be buried in the water grave of baptism for the remission of your sins. Baptism emulates. It is not just a formality, but baptism does something. Baptism emulates the death, burial, and resurrection of Jesus Christ. We die to the practice of sin. We are buried in water. We are resurrected in newness of life. Then what Scripture tells us to do is be faithful unto death. And God will give us a crown that won't fade away. Everybody on the feet. Somebody get it there. Somebody going through life. I mean, it's just been eating you up one side and down the other. You're dealing with all kinds of circumstances and challenges in your life, and maybe you've been trying to hold on to and reach out for everything except for the right hand of God. But Isaiah shows us from this text this morning is that when you hold on to his right hand, you hold the right hand. Maybe you need help right there this morning. Come on, get the help you need. Come on, ask for the prayers of the righteous too. In the midst of everything that you're facing, ask for the prayer to help you to find the strength to reach out and take hold of God's right hand and let him lead you and guide you through all of the stresses and chaos of life. He'll do it. Want it? Can't hear you. Come on. Come on, get the help you need this morning. Do it just now as we sing this song. So the invitation. Say this. Come on.